Here is a Selesnya Rabbits deck that I found that has a nearly 60% win rate, but looking at it, it's also full of of all these rares from Bloomburrow, and I don't have that many wild cards. So what I'm trying to figure out today is, can we make this deck win with 10 rares or fewer? It's budget bunnies. Welcome to the Attic. Manadad here. It's the channel where we explore what is fun in Magic, mostly on Arena. On Tuesdays, we do Typal Tuesdays, where we celebrate the best kindreds, Typals in Magic. We used to say tribes, the best tribes in Magic, and got one of the best ones here. It's a fan favorite as well as a personal favorite coming out of Bloomburrow. Green and white bunnies, Selesnya Rabbits. Just a lot of fun to go wide with a bunch of little rabbits and stomp people with them. So how do we build this deck with just 10 rares? Well, first of all, we're going to have to sacrifice the mana base. I'm not one of these content creators who is not including lands in the rare count and calling it a budget deck. If you have the green-white lands, absolutely throw them in. But I want to play with these bunnies. So I'm prioritizing the Valley Might Collar. We've got 4 of those. Paw Patch Recruit, we got 3 of those, and we'll read through them in a bit, and then a bunch of one-ofs. So Finneas, one of, Valley Quest Collar, one of, Pollen Shield Hair, one of, what else? And that's it. If you got the bunnies, if you got the rares, you can start taking out some of the commons and uncommons. Like Patchwork Banner is essentially a replacement for Valley Quest Collar, which is going to give rabbits +1/+1. This will give rabbits +1/+1, but without a body and for another mana. So it's a trade-off. It's a big trade-off. But we're gonna play them out. We're gonna play the games out, and we'll see if it's too much of a trade-off. Can you really build a budget bunnies? But since Bloomburrow is still a new set, let's just go through really quick. This is almost all Bloomburrow cards, which is pretty fun. In fact, it might be other than the Pollen Shield Hair. Well, let's find out. So, Bravekin Duo, this is a common. It's going to give you, it's a rabbit mouse, so it gives you targeting for your mouse deck, but not so much. It's just a 1/1 rabbit for 1 in our rabbit deck, and we've already got an uncommon 1/2 rabbit for 1. So this will be your first cut as you up the counts of things. Season Worn Guard is a 1/2. It's going to get +2/+0 if we control a token, which we often will thanks to Carrot Cake. And we can also make offsprings with Paw Patch Recruit. This is a great one. 2/1 Trample, and it's going to offspring for 2, so you can get another 1/1 version. And whenever a creature you control becomes a target of spell or ability an opponent controls, can't use Bravekin Duo's targeting. Put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control other than that creature. Weird, but it's like removal. It's like a little bit of like a ward or something, like a removal disincentive, if you will. Also got a 1/1 trampling Frog Warrior, but it's gonna, whenever a rabbit enters, it's going to get +1/+1. So it's going to grow very fast. The reason I'm prioritizing the tramples will become apparent when we get to the end of the deck. We'll come to that. Carrot Cake. This is a limited all-star. It's 2 mana, make a 1/1 and scry, and then another 2 mana, sacrifice it, gain 3 life, make another 1/1 rabbit and scry. Doesn't seem that great, but against especially the mono red aggro, this can really be just roadblock creatures plus life gain plus the scry to help get you out of it. Pretty nice. Pollen Shield Hair, because we do have a bunch of tokens in the deck, giving tokens +1/+1 is nice. There's Hair Raising 2, where we can do a +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures we control. So again, going wide, and then hopefully we'll have a Trampler that we can plus up and make it big. So the 2/3 for 2 Rabbit Warrior. When rabbits enter, we're going to scry, and it's going to give other rabbits +1/+1. So it's what we old timers call a Lord effect. We also, because we have no uncommon wildcard limit in this deck, we have the trampling Burrowguard Mentor. Again, the trample, keep that in mind, very important. Finneas Ace Archer. This is one I wouldn't put up. Well, we'll see how it would plays when we play with it, but you may do 2 or 3. You may not ever need to go to 4 in this rabbit deck with Finneas. But it's a 2/2 vigilance reach. It attacks. It's going to put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control that's a token or a rabbit. And then if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater, draw a card, which I found in testing is often. So this deck just completely folds to board wipes, by the way. So if we get board wiped, we're just going to scoop and move on to the next game. Harvestrite Host. I actually love this card. It's a 3/3 for 3, which is, baseline great stats. Maybe not for constructed, but in limited. But it's going to draw us a card a lot because it gives the +1/+0 the first time a rabbit enters, including itself. And then you draw a card if it's the second time this ability has resolved. And because we have Hop to It, which is going to make 3 rabbits for 3, so if we can get this to stay on the board 1 turn, then we can Hop to It the next turn, draw a card, buff up some big attack, maybe on one of our tramplers, and Bob's our uncle. Patchwork Banner we talked about. It's a 3-mana mana rock, but it is also a Lord effect, so it's going to buff up all our rabbits. Again, just savor on the wild cards, the rare wild cards. Now, here we go. Tree Guard Duo. You probably haven't seen this outside of Limited. 4 mana, 3/4. When it enters until end of turn, target creature you control gets vigilance and +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. So, if we curve out, we get a 1-drop, we get a 2-drop, we do one of these 3-drops, especially this one that's making 3 creatures. By the time we 4-drop and drop the Tree Guard Duo, hopefully we have a target where we're going to buff something up pretty big. And that is going to be awesome. In the mana base, Oak Hollow Village, I did 3 of these, 1 of the Lupinflower. This is sort of a flood protection card. This is flood protection in some sense, but it can also, if you have 5 mana and you make 3 rabbits, and then you spend the green in this, put a +1/+1 counter on each rabbit that entered the battlefield this turn. And it does also count frogs, so it will work on your Valley Might Caller also. And then just Blossoming Sands. Tap, gain a life. You could do also the pain lands? No, the crime lands. the ones that deal a damage. And maybe we'll switch those out as we play if we decide that gaining the life is not... We don't have any life gain synergies necessarily. But I just thought against all the aggro decks, it might be useful. So, that is the Budget Bunnies deck. If you like budget decks, leave me a comment, subscribe, interact with the video. The YouTube algorithm does not like my work very much, but if the YouTube algorithm has ever fed you something hateful and not useful, then strike back. If you found this video positive and helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and show that algorithm not to show you the bad stuff. All right, enough of my jibber jabber. Let's see these bunnies in action. Up against something I can't read. I mean, love to Valley Might Caller turn 1. I think I learned my lesson, though, about making sure you get the tap lands down early. Well, we'll play the Carrot Cake. I think that's the most efficient. Warren Guard could let us double spell next turn, maybe? Yeah, potentially. Or do we just go for something else? I do like playing the Harvestrite Host and then the Hop to It. And Warren Guard is not really... Well, we could Warren Guard Might Caller. Pollen Shield Hair. Alright. I guess it would be Might Caller. Might Caller with this green. Big problem here is they seem to have an instant speed effect. So is it worth risking losing the Pollen Shield hair? Getting blown out on that? Possibly not. Let's just get in for one. Well, now they're going to hit the Might Collar. Yep. So far, this person could be playing my Boros Carrot Cake control deck. But who's got the cake now? Eh? Case of the Crimson Pulse. Okay. Mechanized Warfare. It's like they don't have the creatures to really make use of that. We'll hit for some. They probably have a board wipe though. This looks like the kind of deck that would. Let's see. You'd think with Mechanized Warfare they might have a bunch of small creatures. Could just be pure burn deck. Lightning Helix, the Harvestrite Host. Which is sad. And they're going to tap out. Yeah, okay, they've tapped out now. I'm wondering, should I just want to hop to it. Can land this Pollen Shield hair. Gonna be in good business. Well, it does have 5 cards over there. The other thing is we could pump something, especially if they tapped out, we could pump something and drop a Carrot Cake. Or drop a Carrot Cake, then pump something. Bigarduro is counting 4. It would be 5 if we play it next turn. We just have to get around their instant speed effects. The land. Did they already play a land? I guess not. Paw Patch Recruit, eh? Well, this is useful against them. As long as they have a bunch of single target removal. The fact they haven't board wiped yet. Huh. Well, pretty much anything I play is going to get killed here. Sacrifice this. Let's see what they do. Seasoned Warren Guard. No. Kind of looking for that 4th land at this point. All right, it's time. I think they would just lose. Oops. That can't even attack. Let's see if they still use their burn spell. That was a punt.
From the end zone, he punts it. Oh my goodness, this could be the longest punt in Super Bowl history.
I don't think I've been that excited for a punt. What a punt.
Well, that worked out pretty well, really. They're at 4. We did lose the Pawn Shield here, sadly. Crimson Pulse, okay, they're just digging. How does this flip? No cards in hand. Yeah. All right. Gotta win with the Bunnies. Up against Popcorn. I think this is a mulligan. Alright, we can keep this. Question is, do we dump a land or dump a creature? I'm gonna dump a land. So we can double Season Worn Guard. Okay. One of these mice decks, are they mono red or are they gonna be red white? Drops a mountain. Next turn, Pop Hatch, make an offspring, attack with these guys. Opponent.
I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you.
And Pump Spell. Annoying because they draw a card, but I don't think we have time to do the Harvestrite Host thing. I think we're in a race. I could be wrong about that. Well, certainly got a grip of cards over there. Crimson Pulse, okay. Could be worse. They get a land drop. Okay, they're willing to trade this. Fine with that. We hit a land drop. Let's just Carrot Cake. Best color is great for next turn. Some serious serious damage in. Okay, 7 to 15. Their deck could be explosive, however. So the question is, do we throw a bunny in front of that? Because this will give everything +1/+1. We put 2 Monastery Swift Spears, okay. We're just no blocks. Because that's 5 creatures, each of them +1/+1. That should be lethal. Not to mention the pluses on the Warren Guards. More than lethal. Take that, mono red. Budget bunnies. Stick around to the end to see the real win rate of the deck. Not just the games I was able to fit into the video. Seems pretty good, but opponent is going first. So they're mono red. Do we just Pop Hatch Recruit? It doesn't get a lot of value. We're going to need the white mana at some point. Let's just gain a life. Not looking good here. Not looking good. Kind of a flood. Top of a no white problem. Quick shot. And any spells? No blocks. Okay. Dreadmaw's Ire. +2/+2 and trample whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Destroy target artifact. No, the anti-carrot cake tech. Plus they deal 13. Oh, okay. Well, we just have to hope the other cards in their hand are just, I suppose, are just. We do. One pop patch. Back for one. Just hope everything in their hand, left in their hand, is just lands. It is not. All right. Oh well, they didn't have a pump spell there. Oh, it didn't matter. They had Slick Shot. Okay. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I'm gonna see if I can bring it home with these budget bunnies. Buns on the run. It's Chanyin. Seems like a keeper hand. Go with the Warren Guard first. We got our Finneas. Let's see if Finneas can survive. Tiny bones. Guess we'll just drop our 4-drop at this point. Hit 4. Okay, we're getting our Finneas trigger there. Plussing up everything. Actually, does that plus up everything? Or just with attacking? Yeah. Should have done that pre-combat, I suppose. It's a punt.
From the end zone, he punts it. Oh my goodness, this could be the longest punt in Super Bowl history.
I don't think I've been that excited for a punt. What a punt.
Get some triggers. Definitely want at least one trigger on Finneas. And then they'll probably block Finneas. I can put a couple of triggers on the Warren Guard. Pretty nice. +1 counters on the whole team and draw some cards. They're down to 3. And we get to play land. Woo! Bunnies be cooking. Is there a board wipe? No, there is a scoop. Woohoo! Apologize if my voice sounds a little funny. I don't know, just Ted. This summer, the kids have just been. Maybe it's because my oldest daughter has been going to camps and just brings back a new throat cold every single week. Okay, so we do have a 1-drop and a 2-drop and actually 2 1-drops. We'll keep. And a tap land. We can't really actually play the Burrowguard Mentor or the Seasoned Warren Guard until we get the Blossoming Sands going. So we're going to have to take turn 2 off, seems like, unless we draw an untapped white source. Up against Psy 84. 1984. I don't think I was yet into Ninja Turtles in size. But if they don't start playing their hand out, I'm going to Psy. There we go. Okay. It's like the red-black lizard pump deck. Some kind. Just play a tap land, pass. Next turn we could Patchwork Banner into Seasoned Warrenguard. That might be our play. The opponent is quite slow over here. Blackleaf Cliffs. See if they end up playing more rares in this game than we have in our whole deck. No blocks. They're going to kill the Might Caller. Almost better, I think. Rabbit. I almost clicked mouse. Oh, rabbit. Cumberheart Challenger. Might be able to get him to burn a pump spell here by blocking. Could be a mistake. Mistake. Guess we saved some life there. And the host, yeah, because we'll draw a card with that off that next turn with our 1-drop. So that seems all right. One has 4 cards in hand. Again, they're attacking. I'm just no blocks this turn. Hopefully they can't deal 14. But if they can, congratulations. Monstrous Rage. Okay, we go to 5. I need the life gain from the carrot cake. And they go Callus. Okay. Well, they could deal 14 that turn. Turns out they could deal 17. Okay, so how did we do? A very respectable 50% win rate, 60% on the plays, 0% on the draw. I mean, what did I say? If you're on the draw with this deck, you're already in trouble, especially with the tap land. So, number one place to improve is the mana base. You probably have some of the green and white rare lands you can throw in. I would say that's pretty good. Might trim down another Oak Hollow Village too. This kind of inability to play the Pollen Shield Hair. I guess that was just one game and it's just one copy of the card, but definitely a good card if you've already played a hop to it with the giving the tokens +1/+1. The Valley Might Caller, this just eats so much removal, it's hard to know. Obviously, if it sticks around, it becomes a big problem, especially for red decks when it gets too big. But Pop Patch Recruit was great. Definitely love that. It's a 1-drop and a 3-drop. Harvestrite Host was actually decent, but you can start trimming those down as you get more stuff. Finneas Ace Archer was so good. So good. Burrowguard Mentor, we never really got to go off with that. That is a 4 of, I believe, in the normal decks, but I honestly wonder if that could get trimmed a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe you're supposed to take out the carrot cakes. I love them. This is every set. There's like a common that I get obsessed with, and right now it's carrot cake. I mean, I can't believe they even printed this picture. First of all, maybe I have a filthy mind, but anyways, Bravekin Duo. Obviously, that comes out. The Warren Guards were good, I think. And if you start taking out the carrot cakes, then the Warren Guards don't get as good because you only get the tokens from the Pop Patch Recruit and the Hop to It. But definitely keep in 4 Hop to It's And the Tree Guard duo, we never quite got to go off with that, but it would have been fun to steal a game out of nowhere where somebody thinks they're going to crack back the next turn and get us, and we drop the Tree Guard duo and just put it on a trampler and they can't do anything about it. That would have been fun to see, and we came close a couple times, but otherwise, yeah, I think for a budget deck, 50% win rate that is going to rank you up in the lower ranks decently quick, and like the bronze and silver. And then once you get to gold, I think hopefully once you get to gold, you've gotten enough of your quests done and you've gotten some packs opened and you get some more of these rares maybe. Once you get 6 rares, you get a wild card rare, so you can start spending your wild cards to build up the deck and turn it into it. But it's not the most competitive deck. So maybe you're not playing rabbits if you're into the most competitive thing. Maybe you're just playing rabbits for fun. In which case, starting here as a baseline budget, I think this is pretty good, and you can build into a better, more competitive rabbit deck. Maybe gets up almost to 50 or 60% win rate at the higher levels. By the way, that deck I was looking at was like a platinum mythic level player. So that's something to consider. Anyways, thanks for joining me in the attic. Check out the videos that YouTube thinks that you will like. And I am reminding you, this is Manadad reminding you, Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.